thought that you were the illegitimate daughter of Marilyn Monroe. Regardless of heredity or genetics or anything else, did you consciously study Monroe's style?
Oh, sure. I've said that, you know, early on, that I think that her influence on me and a lot of women is very pronounced.
Is that...
I mean, she had an effect on world culture.
Has the reputation of the blonde changed from Marilyn Monroe's time?
Definitely. Some of the things that Marilyn, you know, was unhappy about was the fact that she wasn't taken seriously, and people couldn't get over the fact that she was so adorable and so lovely and so voluptuous and so attractive and so magnetic. To see, you know, that she offered a lot of qualities and a lot of things and a lot of value. And I think that those days are gone, whether it's, you know, good or bad for women. You know, that just is sort of a condition that just doesn't exist anymore.
Madonna, like Debbie Harry, is playing the 20th century idea of a blonde to the hilt, but neither can exude that real wholesome virginal blonde myth of old, partly because they're not really blonde, mainly because this is rock and roll. Like a Virgin is as close as they can get.
Are Debbie Harry and Madonna working the same street corner in pop music?
Well, no, we're different, and I think we're a lot different, but we might have a few similarities, yeah. I think that, you know, that sort of blonde thing we've definitely, you know, latched on to, and, but I think musically, style-wise, we're different ends.
Still to come on the New Music, Georgia Satellites, The Pretenders, and more from Debbie Harry.
What has Debbie Harry been doing since the demise of Blondie and her 41st birthday? Well, mostly she's been taking care of her boyfriend, Chris Stein, who is also the guitarist and the writer for Blondie. But she hasn't been out of commission altogether, and she's just come back with a new solo album called Rockbird. I'm not really sure you can call this a comeback album because you've been busy doing so many other things. But does that put an added pressure on you, people saying this is Debbie Harry's big comeback?
No, I don't really feel pressure from it. I feel like, you know, there's sort of a need to explain where I've been, what I've been doing. You know, that seems to be the biggest question. What have you been doing?
All right.
Nothing.
What have you been doing? I don't think it's been nothing. I think you've been very busy. What have you been up to?
Well, not that much, really. I've sort of kept a low profile, but I did do that, you know, the wrestling play, Teaneck Tansy or Trafford Tansy in the Venus Flytrap. And I did a couple of singles for soundtracks. I did the Rush Rush from Scarface and Feel the Spin from The Crush Groove. And more recently, I did a part in a movie called Forever Lulu, and a TV show called Tales from the Dark Side, where I play a witch.
Was that easy or hard?
She also acted in the film Union City, which also featured Pat Benatar in an acting role. She may have been cast in a wide variety of roles, but most of these projects seem to end up having a very strange bend to them.
Yes, Harlan, I'm here.
Get me awake, but don't make any noise. Now, you got that? It's very important.
I'm right here.
Yeah, but that's not what I asked you.
I'll do it like they do it in the movies.
Yeah, good. What do you mean, Lillian?
I'll put my hand over your mouth.
knife in your back.
As for her stage work, Teen-Act Tansy, the wrestling show Debbie mentioned, was the New York version of a play Canadians would remember as Trafford Tansy. It has probably the most physically demanding female role ever.
A wife to somebody, isn't she? Are you telling me your mum isn't somebody? Somebody.
Do you feel you're more in control of your product when you're acting or when you're singing?
Definitely the singing side, because I put my own words into my mouth, you know, as it were. I'm, you know, as the lyricist, I get to sing what I want to say. As an actress, you know, you can select the kind of show that you want to do with a script. You certainly have that kind of approval, but your director tells you, you know, what he wants out of a scene, and it's that kind of situation. Yeah, so I mean, at first I was very, a little bit unwilling to give up that much control. You know, that was sort of frightening, to give up that much control.
Blondie already had a highly visual approach to their music long before most bands were taking an active role in video. This visual sense was complemented by the use of street artists who now happen to be highly successful in New York. Another close friend and collaborator is Andy Warhol.
3 Cadillacs, Lincolns 2, Mercuries and Subaru, and you don't stop, you keep on eating cars. Then, when there's no more cars, you go out at night and eat up bars where the people meet, face to face, dance cheek to cheek.
I see that Andy Warhol did some work on your album cover, and I know that you're each other's biggest fans. I've heard some art critics say that Andy Warhol is really just culturally superficial, that he's good at exposing cultural phenomena, and in that way he's really a cultural journalist. Would you agree?
Oh, well, that's definitely an artist's job, I think, to sort of reflect what's going on in the world and how they interpret life during their time. So he definitely does that. I think that at first what made him important was that he did things with technology. You know, he didn't sit there and paint everything by hand. You know, he was a really very modern approach to painting.
Let me tell you about the boy I know. You think you got the best of me. You tried to win my affection with a fancy selection, sweet talk and flattery. My mama had told me what my mama done to me, and what is this leading to? Well, the girls should know better than I do.
From those early days in New York where Debbie met Andy Warhol and started playing clubs like CBGB's to her new solo album, some things haven't changed. Her cool vocal style and the 60s girl group feel to her music.
Kisses hard, kisses deep, a kiss to wake us from our sleep. Take your lover by the hand, speak in tongues and understand. French kissing in the USA.
Can you use that kind of bubble-headed girl group sound to say anything important?
Well, I think that was probably one of the twists that existed in Blondie, that it was a take on that, but a very aggressive sort of stance. I think that most of those girl group songs were about being stepped on and having a broken heart, and I don't think that the Blondie material was quite like that.